Hello, everyone. Hi, happy Friday. Happy Friday. So I'm super excited to introduce my next two guests. In 2024, we are team collaboration over competition, but it can often be hard to build and create community with other Black creatives. These influencers and creators have not only found their niche, but they monetize it, because the revolution needs to be monetized. Please give me a warm hand clap for Deandre and Malik. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Yes, I'm so excited. Can we give another round of applause for them? Okay, so let's just get into it. So Malik, we're talking about content creation, monetizing, but some people may or may not know you're a military veteran. So you've used that career to possibly fund your true passion. Can you just speak a little bit about that transition?
So basically, I'm from Chicago. Chicago makes noise. We got Chicago in the house?
Chi-Town!
Chicago?
Yes!
Okay, so there aren't a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
in Chicago. So I've always been a creative. I've always known that I wanted to create things. I used to get in trouble all the time because my notebook would be full of sketches and doodles and stuff like that. And I would tell my mom, this is all I'm good at.
Yeah.
She was like, Malik, well, if you go to college for art, you're going to end up being somebody's art teacher. You're not going to make a lot of money. You might end up wasting a whole bunch of money. And she wasn't wrong, because I know a lot of people that get stuck. So one day the military came up to my school and was like, hey, do you know what you're finna do when you graduate? I'm like, no. And they was like, well, if you get a military 4 years of your life, they will pay for your college when you get out. So even if you do waste your time and money, it won't be your money.
Okay. That's smart. That's a finesse.
You know, I'm an only child. So
Yeah.
the first time I brought it up to her, she was like, you crazy. You're not finna go to no military, da-da-da. But she ended up letting me go. And it worked out. I used the money that I made in the military to fund my fashion career.
Yep.
And I also think it helped me build structure. And it changed me a lot. And it gave me a lot of leadership skills. So I always tell people that come from inner cities, if you don't know what you want to do when you grow up, then the military could be a good choice for you.
Could be.
And
It could be
it helps people get out.
Yeah. So Deandre, we love you on TikTok.
Yes. Greetings.
But why is it important for you to utilize your platform for people who look like you and identify with you?
Yeah, I think it's important because it's crazy. I was just talking with someone about this last night. We don't see a lot of representation of us in different formats, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Malik's content really sheds light on mental health and fashion, and then mine is corporate, right? And we don't see that. It's the first time it's done. And I was talking to someone and I was saying, wow, I'm the first person, imagine the face of Gen Z in the workforce being a Black gay male.
Yeah.
No one would have
thought
that.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's super important that we are in these spaces, right? And that we take up space and opportunities within these spaces so that people can see it can be done. Because I didn't see many people that looked like me when I was coming up. So it was a little jaded, I guess you can say.
Right.
How do I do it? But you learn as you go. And then as you go, it's now I want to reach out and help other people to come out and go along this journey with me.
Definitely. There's something I want to ask, because Malik, I think you talked about this on Twitter one day. You were saying that when you were first posting videos, that interaction at first wasn't what it is now. How do you stay confident? And do you continue to post? How do you just keep going?
Malik is the posting god. Malik, he be pushing out that content. Me, I'm I think because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Where it starts to become work. So it's I really do allow myself to relax, to calm down. I may not post for a month, and I'll come back greetings, how you all been? An espresso martini. So I really just allow myself the opportunity to just relax and breathe. But Malik's experience may be different, because
Well, my thing is, anybody who know me know that I have really bad anxiety, right? So right before I post something, I'll be so scared, how is it gonna do? What are people gonna think? And I kind of have to just push through that and tell myself that if I watch it and I know I like it and it makes me feel good, that should be the only thing that matters. You can't really let people's perceptions of you stop you from doing it. And that's also a really good tip to grow on any platform. You have to keep pushing out content. So I do think it's very important to take breaks and don't let it consume you.
Right.
But at the same time, don't let fear stop you from putting the content out. You got to put it out.
Okay, a little small icebreaker question off of that. Is there ever a right time to post? Because my friends and I always talk about this. We're like, should we post at 3 p.m.? Should we post at 5 p.m.? When should we post? Like, is there a right time as content creators?
I think it depends on the platform.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know, like on Twitter, like I'll post on any time. I think, but for TikTok and Instagram, you want to do it like when people are, up and about.
Yeah, like you have a rhythm and a system.
I think IG is the only platform where I really post at certain times.
Okay.
But TikTok, even then, you can post whenever because it kind of just catches up.
Yeah.
I don't know. TikTok is a weird app where she just has a mind of her own.
Yeah, it don't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel that. So there have been several brands that have attached themselves to y'all's names, as I'm sure you've seen, and likeliness recently. How do you achieve some of these brand deals, and how do you ensure that you're practicing good business and don't get taken advantage of?
You go first.
Look, it's something on the tip of your tongue.
No, because it's funny you say this because everybody knows, out of us all, we know Deandre. I am a stickler when it comes to brands. It's really my way or the highway.
Okay.
And I don't play about that at all when it comes to brands. It's I want it this way. If it's not that way, I'm just not gonna do it at all.
Okay.
And I think it's super important that it took me a while to get there. At first, when I was new to this, it was money, money, money. I want to leave corporate America. So there was an intent as to why I was taking everything.
Yeah.
But now I'm a lot more intentional with what I do. And there's a lot of stuff I turn down because of that intention. If it doesn't A, align, B, if I don't feel like I'm the prize, I need to know that when I am doing a brand deal that I am the prize. Y'all are doing this for me,
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to get caught up in the money and things like that. And you forget, this is still something that's being translated across to your audience.
Yep.
So you want it to come across correctly.
Definitely. What about you, Malik? How is this you've been navigating brand deals, good business practices, and I'm sure you get requests like Deandre said where it's I'm not doing that.
I don't know. I'm always really happy when a brand wants to work with me. It's just wow, you see me, you see potential in me being the face of your product. But the downside to that is Black influencers don't really get a lot of brand opportunities. And a lot of times when brands work with us, they try to water us down. They try to remove our personality. They try to make us more marketable. So when I work with brands, I always tell people this has to look and sound like it's still coming from Malik.
Yeah.
And every time I post a brand deal, I don't want people to be oh, here go this again.
Brand deal,
He pushing a product in my face. I still want it to be funny. I still want it to be relatable. I still want it, everything that I do in a brand in a brand deal, I still want people to still see that same type of, feeling that they get when they watch my regular video.
Yep.
So a lot of brands don't align with that. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I would rather stay authentic and true to myself and make sure that my audience is still connected with who I am than take the money. I feel like that's more important to me.
No, definitely. So what do you all think about the term influencer then? I mean, in 2024, I would think of you all both as more than influencers, but what do you all think about that term?
Can I, when it comes to the term influencer.
You could be honest.
I feel like nowadays everyone kind of uses the term, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge difference between the term content creator and influencer. And there's a huge debate about this recently on TikTok.
Okay.
And I think when it comes to the term influencer, I think it's somebody where you, how should I say this? You have built something for yourself. So when you go somewhere, people know you for a thing. Yeah. So
fashion, beauty, those.
Well, not even just that, but specifically. So when people see me, or for example, they think corporate baddie, or they think espresso martini. When people can place things with your name, I think that's what categorizes you as an influencer, in my opinion.
Okay.
And now when it comes to content creator, I think that's somebody who has basically just fell into a niche, such as, I do get ready with me's. And you get your brand deals and you make your money, and that's great. But I think that there's a difference between it. But like I always say personally, I don't think it really matters.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you both getting your bread, okay?
Yeah,
that's
you
what matters.
both going viral.
You're getting your money. You're getting your money, and that's what matters most.
Yep. What about you? What's your sort of opinion on the word influencers?
I don't know. I just started this job. I don't know if I'm
my third day out here.
It's my third day. I don't know if I'm. But like, I don't know. Like to me, influencers are people like role models, like people that you've seen come up.
Yeah.
Like Monet McMichael is a really good example because
Yeah.
we've seen her in school, and then we've seen her transform into this like superwoman. Like she has a
Literally.
Vogue cover, and I feel like. People like that, I consider more influencers, like Jackie Aina.
Okay.
You know, somebody with a motivating story that really inspires and pushes people to be good. Because it's like the people that I just named, they can push any type of product. You know, they're not stuck in a box.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like what differentiates influencers and content creators. Content creators have like one thing that they do, and people go to their page for that one thing. They make cookies, so they got like all these you know. Tupperware brands trying to get them brand deals, but I feel like influencers can really do anything because people are into our lives and not just so much what we do on the internet.
You know, you made a good point, and so do you all, because the way I asked it, in a sense, I thought maybe y'all thought the influencing term was like old news, but in your opinion, you're like, no, influence really means influence. I think for me, you hear so many people say that they're influencers, when it's like, sometimes for the consumer, me on Instagram or TikTok, it's like, well, who really is the influencer if everybody is calling themselves that? You know what I'm saying? Kind of speaking about content creation and influencing, how do you make sure that you stand apart I mean, I'm sure you guys get on Instagram and you see so many people trying to get a following, but how do you both stay different in your content?
I don't know. I don't know.
You just be yourself.
I don't know. I kind of just like, I be myself. There is really no rhyme or reason to my content. I have a thought and I stick my phone down like this. And I'll say it, and it just works out. I don't know. I think everybody should just be authentic to themselves. And when you're yourself and you're not trying to be somebody else, you're going to stand out.
Absolutely.
I think the best advice I can give for people that are trying to your point, just stand out from others is not overconsume content on the media, especially when you're in a space where you're trying to build a brand, we'll say. Like, when you overconsume other people's content, when you start to feel like, oh, well, I have to do this or something similar to this in order to see success within this lane, when in actuality, that's not the case, right?
Right.
You can just like you said, sit your phone down and record from your perspective, what's on your mind, like without other people's thoughts jading what it is that you have to do, what it is that you want to say.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because authenticity, you can really see that. And I think with both of you, we really know you're being yourself. And I think that's what makes us really love and follow you both. So that was a really good point. Something just came to me. How did you feel for your first viral moment? Like when you woke up and you saw, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't know what that was for you, but what did that feel like?
Okay, so a lot of people don't notice because I've like deleted almost every video, but I have been putting videos on the internet since I was like 14, 15. Okay. But it started on Facebook. Okay. And it started because I'm an only child. I moved a lot growing up. I went to 4 different high schools. Oh, wow. I was always a new kid. So around like junior year, I gave up on trying to make friends. Yeah. I was just to myself. So one day I was at home, and I forget what the video was about, but it was something, I was ranting about something. Okay. I just put it on Facebook. I didn't have nobody to talk to, and it went up. And I was like, it gave me a good feeling. It made me feel like I wasn't by myself no more. It gave me like a sense of community. And then I joined the military, and I kind of stopped doing it because I was like, nobody gonna take me serious if I'm on here ranting. But it kind of found me again. And it was like in a place where I was in a bad place in my life, and I needed community, I guess, and I did it, and it worked out. I feel like every time, I don't know, that's why I am such a huge advocate for TikTok, because it's so good for finding community. Yeah. Because in that time of my life, like, it almost saved me in a way. So yeah, the viral moment for me, it made me feel like I had people to listen to what I had to say. And it really helped me a lot.
I was really anxious with my first viral moment because I was working in corporate America. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, they gonna see this. And it was like kind of throwing a dig at corporate America. So it's like, I don't know how this is gonna translate. But then somebody that worked at my old job, he said he had saw it, and he was like, keep going like you're doing good. So that made me feel good. And from there, I just kept pushing out the content up until I quit. But so.
I mean, I feel like you touched a relatable factor. Like, I think one of my favorites is when it's after 5 p.m. and you're like, I'm not answering nothing, but you're touching on relatable stuff. And even you, Malik, talking about anxiety and mental health, like people want to hear that. Sometimes the get ready with me in the OOTDs are great, which we love from both of you. But I think what really makes us like, oh no, I'm gonna continue to follow is that authenticity. So y'all are doing amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to know throughout your respective journeys, what's the most important lesson or so far that you've learned? And is there anything that you would do differently?
Well, to answer the second part, is there anything I would do differently? No.
Okay.
I would never do anything differently because I really am a person that believes everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
And everything that I've been through has taught me or helped form me into the person in which I'm still becoming.
Right.
So would I do anything different? No.
Anything that you've learned?
Oh.
From content creation or being an influencer?
Okay. This is a really good one.
Okay.
Okay. When you start get into this world and you start getting brand deals and stuff, you start making like a lot of money. And it starts to look like Monopoly money.
Because it's so like those big checks coming in.
Yeah.
Like every so
I
often.
wish if I could go back into time, I would have, I think I told you this too, I would have waited and not moved right away. I would have kind of waited a little, really got acclimated.
Yep.
Because similar to any job and any entrepreneurship journey, there are roles where it's like it's up and it's down, there's high and it's low. So I would have just been a little bit more patient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's actually some really good advice because I feel like, LA, New York.
Yeah.
It's like where we want to go.
And it's like when you get there, you start to think that's the only place you can go to make it. But it's like, I could have been fine in Dallas, right?
Right. No, I get that. And what about you, Malik? Just anything that you would have done differently or a lesson that you have learned throughout your time being an influencer?
I don't think I would do anything differently.
Yeah.
I think every decision that I made leading up till now, everything was necessary.
Right.
Like joining the military was necessary.
Right.
It was a long journey. It's been a long journey, but I think everything was supposed to happen. As far as lessons, I would say sometimes not right now just means not right now.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of times where, when I was in the military, all of my friends went off to college. All of my friends was partying. All of my friends was doing this.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here with this gun on this boat, just staring off into the ocean, getting on Instagram, seeing all my friends. And I did feel discouraged sometimes, damn, am I behind in life?
Yeah.
And now look at me now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everybody has their own journey. So it's just like, that was the biggest thing. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
That's another good one, though, too. Not when beating yourself up, knowing that sometimes, because you'll get a lot of opportunities that'll come in, and then you get turned down from a lot of stuff, too.
Yeah.
And that could be very discouraging, because it's like, why wasn't it me? And you start to think, maybe it's me, maybe I'm the problem. Mm-hmm. And just really learning not to take it serious. Now, when it comes to stuff, I'll say it, I'll tell my mom or close friends, oh yeah, this came in. And they're like, OMG, congrats. I'm like, well, we don't know what's gonna happen, child. Until I sign a contract. Actually, until I'm actually there.
Yeah.
And I post the video, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
So I learned to not allow those times to define me, Because I used to get really down. It was this really big opportunity I had once. And I found out the day prior that I was no longer going to be doing it. And it was really hard for me. And I kind of sloped into a little depression because of it.
Yeah.
So I just learned don't let that stuff define you. It comes, it goes. There'll always be something,
Definitely. I love that because I think a lot of people should need to hear that because what y'all said in the beginning, as Black content creators and influencers, we don't always get those brand deals. So what happens when a brand deal is taken away from you? It doesn't define who you are at all.
Yeah.
Last question, I just wanted to end with, what's next for you all? I think sometimes we see content creators and influencers, but then we want to see them act. We want to see them do music. We want to see them, etc. So what's next for both of you?
Should we say it?
I think we kind of know.
Me, Malik, and Raymond have been working on a podcast
Woo!
with Spotify, and it's called If We're Being Honest.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout. We filmed season 1, and it'll be out in August.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yes.
I think for me, I love seeing people from social media do other business endeavors, and I'm sure more will come. Malik, is that what you were going to say too as well, or Spotify, or is there anything else?
No, I'm so excited about that. And it's like the thing that I love the most about our dynamic is that we're all so different.
Yeah.
And it's like anybody who can tune into the show, you're going to find somebody that you relate to.
Right.
And I think it's something in there for everybody, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
No, definitely.
I think
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and one thing I love about Malik and Raymonte, my besties for life now, is that we really represent different types of Black gay men.
Yep.
I feel like people think there's only one type of Black gay person, and that's not the case.
Definitely.
And we represent, different type of people that still walk the same life and have the same experiences. And I think that also is something that you'll see a lot of throughout our podcast as well.
Definitely. Well, I have to say, I was very jealous I wasn't on that Greece trip.
Oh.
I should have been dangling with Raymonte. Yeah, it looked like did you enjoy yourself? It looked like y'all had a really great time.
Yeah, I'll be honest, you may not believe me, but I'm still jet lagged.
No, I believe it was just, last week? So,
That flight was 13 hours long. They didn't have no Wi-Fi, no outlets. It was basically like I was in jail. I told everybody next time we going to Miami.
Yeah.
No, I said we're going to Malibu next year.
Malibu, we just gonna keep
drive,
it in the space. Yeah. Well, everybody, can we please give it up for Malik and Deandre? And I'm sure everybody knows where to follow you. So thank you so much. We are so grateful that you all did this.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
y'all.
I love y'all so much. Bye.
Thank you.